Okay, so just a little quick story. We had a very bad storm last night and our driveway looks like the jungle of Vietnam. So all I have to do is just get this rake to a friend of mine, having to go through all of this mess, and I'm going to show you the process of how I'm having to get through it. It would have been a lot easier if these trees were like itty bitty, but no, these are like some real thick trees. It's going to take at least about like 2, 3, maybe 4 days for them to all clear out of this chunk out. And here's where it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to have to stop the camera for this part. Maybe. Actually, no, not really. Okay. As you can tell, the trees, they're not bad in this part of the driveway, but further up ahead, it is an absolute nightmare. And apparently, what makes it even more challenging is that apparently we have to go through live wires that have actually fallen across our driveway. This has also affected our neighbor. It's hard to see her house because of the trees and stuff, but her family was out here a while ago. They said they were having to get her out, you know, having to see if they can get the car down there rather than her actually walking through all that mess, which I don't actually blame them. So I'm going to have to stop the camera for this one. Right there is where the live wire is, and it's hard to see it, but there is a steel cable wire too, actually. And what makes it scarier is it's sitting on top of water. So I have to at least be extra careful. Okay, that part's easy. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. I have to crawl under and go over another one. So, I really will have to stop the camera for this one. Okay. Maybe I can get that through there. Okay. Okay. And let's see. Last hurdle. Okay. As you can see, I had to literally crawl under and go over all of this, and I do apologize for the wind, but apparently there is a lot of debris and a lot of tree limbs. Like, I've seen these things happen before, but never in my life have I seen this many trees fall in one driveway. And see, even above me, there's like 2 trees that are barely hanging on. And you can see a few more actually. They're just leaning, which that's terrifying. And you can even see one of the trees actually broken off on the top, and it like split down in almost towards the middle, which I didn't actually notice that until just now. Wow. See if we can't, you know, get a closer look at that. Just gotta grab the rake real quick. Okay. Holy cow. Holy cow. Good gracious, Holy Mary and Joseph, that's a very huge pine tree that just fell down and almost broke in the middle. Well, actually, come to think of it, it is broken in the middle. But yeah, the storms are really bad out here. And you can see even more, which I've never been able to look up in the middle of our driveway because it's so full of trees. But now there's like barely any trees at all. It's crazy. But my mother actually called her brother and her nephew to actually bring some chainsaws and actually try to cut all this mess out. Because, you know, I live with my grandparents and I do my very best to take care of them. And if an emergency came up that to the point to where I can't help them or something, or let me rephrase that. If an emergency pops up and I'm not able to help them, it's gonna emergency, you know, 911 can't actually come out here and actually help them, because how are they going to get through all this? It's a struggle for me just to get through here. I can't imagine how an ambulance is going to get through all this. It's a mess. It really is. See, there's one of our neighbors now just leaving, actually. They just picked up Mrs. Green, one of our neighbors. Yeah, that's my driveway, and that is my neighbor's driveway, Mrs. Green. And apparently, I don't blame her kids for having to just make the decision of having to just, you know, having to just get her in the car and just leave. Because, you know, if you look at that, how can you expect the little woman to get through all that mess? And the power line actually goes from there, and it goes across Mrs. Green's yard. It's just a madhouse down here in the South. Like, it's crazy. And from what I was told by my mother, it gets worse up the road. See, you can even hear the ambulances and all them going off. And that's just the emergency services just helping out the people, actually. Like, we have it bad down here in the South. I would say which part of the South, but, you know, I'm having to keep that part a secret just for identity protection. But anyway, it's a madhouse out here. It's chaotic. And it is a mess. Just an absolute mess. I know I said that a couple of times, but that's legitimately what it is. Just a big old green mess. The only good thing that came out of this is nobody's seriously hurt out here in the neighborhood. I mean, Mrs. Green's okay. Our neighbor right there is okay, and so are her dogs, and our other neighbor down there and his dog, they're okay as well. And here comes Dale and my mother, actually. Well, I'm going to be signing off. This has been Cannon Home Videos. Okay, it has currently been at least about somewhere around like 4, maybe 5 hours, and apparently me and my friends and also my family members, we've been working pretty hard, having to clear all this debris out And as you can see, it's not pretty, but it's drivable. But this ain't our first time dealing with things like this, but this is the first time we've had so many trees actually fall all in one driveway. Like, all of that is just trees. Lots of them. Like, there's bunches and bunches of them. And, like, you know, to begin with, you couldn't actually see the driveway. So it's been at least about a week now, and so far this is what the driveway looks like, actually. And as you can see, it's a lot better than the last time I recorded, but, you know, it was a lot of work, actually. It was a lot of work having to get rid of all these tree limbs and stuff. And I do have proof of that. All that you see on my hand is poison oak. In between my fingers. And basically all over my arm. And it's on both. Well, it's not really bad on my left side, actually, but it's got me pretty good, actually. But anyway, it's really bad, actually. It's still bad. Like, these are trees hanging over me, actually. They're like leaning. But this part is the worst. The rest of it is actually okay. Sorry about that. I had to get a new camera card. But I gotta be careful right here because it's hard to see, but there are live wires out here. So I'm having to be real careful to go across them as I'm filming. Okay, we're good. Anyway, as I was saying, it's really bad in this driveway. Not all of it is bad, but it's just where mainly the majority of the trees have fallen that makes it bad. And Duke Power and the tree cleaning companies, I forgot what they're called, but tree service people, I think, I'm not sure. They do landscaping and stuff during like natural disasters or after the natural disasters. Anyway, they got their hands full with this one. And apparently, it's kind of hard to see, but somewhere right about there, maybe? I don't know if I'm pointing it at, yeah, right about there. at the tip of my finger is our power line, and it's buried in a bunch of debris. And I don't mean like that figuratively, I mean like that literally. It's literally buried in debris. And so is the rest of the power lines that go across the road. But it's like really bad out here actually. Like it's like literally hanging on to a bunch of trees. And all the other trees are like that too actually. But throughout most of the driveway it's okay actually. But this proves you're never ready for nature. Because we thought, oh, the hurricane's going to go in one direction. But apparently, we were caught with our pants down, apparently. And seeing what you're seeing on this video, it's foolproof that we need to be more careful with whatever information we get about nature. And we need to be more ready for things like this. And it seems like we got the construction crew out here from Duke Energy, I believe. They're actually fixing the trees and fixing the power lines, which, you know, that's always a good thing. We suck at preparing for emergencies. I'm glad that these people are doing something to help the community. Because we've been without power for at least a whole week, maybe. When you don't have a lot of power, you kind of tend to lose track of time sometimes. I mean, I got a regular calendar, but you know. Anyway, they're finally doing something. Dealing with one of the trees that actually, you know,